us on Night Trap.
Oh, there he is. How are you?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Good to see
Look at
you.
you all sharp.
No, I know you don't recognize this, do you?
No.
Yeah.
Some people wear jackets.
In front of the camera. She always wears a sport jacket for her little interview things. I said, no, not for Dawn.
Yeah.
And of course.
Here I am.
then Don wears one. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
God, how long have you guys known each other?
Well, Book of Eli, I guess. You know? Should've been the
Jeez,
first one.
15 years almost. When was that?
That was like a cakewalk.
2008. That was.
Oh, yeah.
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 Yaroon.
Yeah.
Our good old buddy Yaroon.
That's
Yaroon
right.
was on Book of Eli?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was.
Excellent.
Yeah. No, he's great to have around. You know, if your hair dryer breaks, or he can fix that
can
too.
fix that
the
too.
TV set. And
That's
Yeah, he
exactly-
can fix that.
Was that like red? Was that red one? Or was it?
It was.
Yeah.
Was it even Mysterio?
That was our
Red
first. Book of Eli was our first
Yeah.
real movie.
One.
I mean, we
Bill
did District
16
9
maybe?
with Trent and Shay, but that was kind of like I operated on Trent's first movie.
Did you operate with him on Book of Eli?
No. He was.
He didn't tell me he had those skills. You know, he's
We
like, "Find out."
were terrified because he was the first real DP that we
Yeah.
were working with,
I'm glad
and
I
it was
didn't know
Don
that.
Burgess.
Listen, and when I went in for the job interview with Albert Hughes,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
he said, "Listen, I would you do us the justice of at least testing the red camera? And if you say it doesn't work, then
Okay.
fine, we'll go a different direction. But would you test it?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." I said, "Listen, you know, when the wind changes directions, you can build walls or windmills. And so, you know, let's try this thing out. Let's road test it." So David Valdez, you know, let us go, you know, to location and film camera, red camera. In fact, I swapped the lenses. I put them exactly in the same place. I only shot one camera at a time, so there wasn't the axis change, exactly the same lenses.
Oh, good.
And we did a whole kind of look of the movie test. And we brought it back, and we did a DI. We did the whole process all the
Wow.
way through the lab and through where we would end up in a release print, right? And we put them up on the screen, and nobody except Albert and myself knew which one was which.
Oh.
And we had all the executives from the studio, and Joel Silver was sitting in the room.
Oh.
And we're, "Okay, fellas, what do you think?" And they're like, "Well, we like that side right over there." And, you know, "But which one is it?" You know, they had no idea, even when it was
Couldn't tell.
over. And everybody liked the look of the red camera at the end of the test.
Wow.
And we also did all the other kinds of tests of, will the camera hold up?
Yeah.
You know, the dust and the dirt and the
Well,
cold.
the
and
contrast
heat,
too.
The contrast.
Dark
yeah.
skin tone and
Yeah.
white
Oh, yeah,
sand.
that's right.
Remember?
Oh, yeah.
'Cause that was.
Push
that
it to
was-
the extremes.
My all-time favorite.
And we had
Yeah.
no idea what we were doing at that point. I mean, you guys
Yeah.
taught us.
I still don't, but
Still.
We never had a test like that. Like we
Yeah.
never was involved in this
Yeah.
this real side by side
Right.
kind
That
of
was
let's
first
go
one.
through the whole process.
Yep.
And that built the foundation for everything, really.
Yeah.
It was
Listen,
incredible.
we were trying to figure out what workflow was.
Yeah.
You know, now what do we've got these cards of data. Now what do we do with them? And, you know, so
Oh, yeah.
we literally figured it out. I remember one day I went into the production manager and said, "Listen, we need a safe."
Yeah.
Oh,
He says, "Safe? What do you need a safe for?" He says, "Because the whole movie's on these little cards, you know, and I don't feel comfortable just leaving them lying around." You know what I'm saying? So we put it, you know, we had a safe,
Yeah.
we put all the data in there, and then we figured out how to make a workflow, you know, and how to see dailies, and we had built a trailer, and we had
Yeah.
dailies every day and what we shot. And
It's amazing
all
none of
good.
that existed before that. Really, that was
yeah,
you know, the
that's the
starting
beginning of it.
ground of all of that.
So,
Was Brad.
what are you thinking about your work using monsters right now, right?
Yes.
So, is there any, you know, fear ever when you're using those? You're solid.
I think that's been the first camera that I've shot several movies with it, right? So it's usually, you know, the problem is used to be new film stocks. Now you guys are giving us new cameras every time I turn around. And so it's tough to
I
say
didn't go
on
where I
top
thought
of
it would.
Yeah.
by the way.
So no, but ultimately, you know, that particular camera, the weapon's been the first one. It's like been, you know, just solid, you know, that the 8K chip and the size of the body and everything's been difficult to keep the camera cool in hot conditions, to process that much data.
Yeah.
All those things, it kind of got to the point where that's a really solid camera that you can go shoot movie after movie with.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, it's been really solid, something you can really count on. And as a director of photography, that's what it's about. You got to guarantee what you're doing there that day when you're shooting. You can't be wondering if, we got it or not.
Do you feel like the directors also need to feel that trust as well in terms of what you're doing and what you're managing?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the directors have to feel comfortable that they've hired the right person to do this job and that they can think about their job. And,
that.
Yeah.
You're getting the performance. It's all about getting performances out of actors that you have to guarantee. And you have to be able to do it not only in a studio where you have total control, but you got to do it outside when the sun's going to be here and there, and it's going to be going down at 4:30. You have to be able to get that work done, and you want to do it in a way that you want your name on it. And so the camera is a big part of being able to know what you can get, to know what it's going to work great on the day, not so great on the day, but you can fix it because you have the depth, the latitude, and the image that you're recording.
Yeah.
So it's all part of the toolkit that we have to deliver. See,
Yeah.
back then it was I think we ended up trying 2 different companies just to do the dailies, and we gave up because they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And that we ended up developing our own system with a lot of bright, smart young people that made it work, and we had that look applied to our dailies, so you could see it was a very extreme look. It was as close to black and white as you could make a color movie. And we crunched those blacks and blew out the highlights, and so it had a very distinct look.
Yeah.
So we were able to do that, in our trailer, and look at dailies in the look, which is really important because it affects the wardrobe, it affects the way the sets are painted, it affects everything. So you want everybody making the same movie. That's why dailies are so important.
Yeah.
So
You're going to Raptor now? Testing
Well,
it? We sent.
Yes.
Did you get it in Vancouver, right?
We did.
You did a little test.
We did. We shot some high speed with it. That was fun. That was very impressive. It was very impressive. So I'm looking forward to.
It's hard to beat the monster. I know the Monstro. Again, the faith
Yeah.
thing, the security, and you're like,
Right.
I know this camera. I can
Right.
rely on this.
Yeah.
So
Right.
a new camera showing up.
Yep.
And you're always the first guy. You were the first guy to shoot the Komodo back before anybody.
Way back.
Right.
That
Was
hilarious
that in
shot.
Vancouver too, or no?
It was in
Somewhere.
Toronto.
Yeah, it was somewhere in Canada. But,
Oh yeah, it was before because when we were
yeah.
talking with you, you'd already shot it.
It's the shot of Kurt and he's swinging the
Yeah.
saber-toothed tiger around. It's a hilarious shot.
That's a good shot.
Yeah, so it was a close-up of the cat's face as he's swinging it like a discus.
Yeah.
Big face in the foreground with the camera swinging around like this. So yeah.
That's what that little camera's great for,
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's what we made it for. Have you seen the XL yet?
He has not.
Oh,
wait.
Keep talking.
We're gonna
Keep
oh,
talking.
I really. This is unexpected. So now you're gonna get to see the XL. Okay, what we got here?
This is the new big boy Raptor XL.
Oh, okay. Ooh, nice.
And it's a proper,
Wow. Look at that.
and it's got the built-in NDs, which is the big difference that's kind of a first for us. So it's got clear
which is good, especially like all the commercial shoots. They all want to shoot wide open. So it's a lot of
absolutely.
NDs, lots of NDs.
Has it really been 15 years? When was Book of Eli?
I don't know. Somebody got a phone. Look up the release
It's
date.
got to be like
No, it's-
2009,
Yeah.
Well, it was,
which you shot it in 2008
I want to say it was
early.
build like
or 9.
build 16 or something on the red one.
Oh,
And it was
gosh.
great because David went down to get the cameras from you guys to buy them, and he's like, "Don, I got them in a cardboard box in the trunk of the car."
We had no
Cases, nothing.
We had when we
He said, "What have I
started
bought?"
when we started making the red one and all the accessories and everything. There was 4. There was Jim, myself, Leah, who's still my assistant.
Yay!
There was 5 or 6 of us, and stuff started coming in. We designed all these accessories, resources. The trucks would pull up. We didn't have a warehouse guy, a shipping department, or anything.
Who
They're
needs
just
that?
like boxes of stuff, and it felt like Christmas. And we're like, oh shit, we need to get organized here. We need somebody to, we need boxes. Which is Wally's job now. He's the box ninja, but back then we had no idea what we were doing. So we literally we got stuff. Those first cameras they weren't even nice. I don't think we gave you nice boxes. They were like cardboard boxes.
Wow. Oh my God. David was cracking up.
And was he Clint's producer?
He was. Yeah.
Alcon, right?
Yeah, he was involved. Alcon was the FedEx guys, where they got their financing, and Broderick and two guys. They're still around today. They're still making movies. But yeah, it was a negative pickup deal for Warner Brothers, so we didn't have any Warner Brothers people really involved.
Yeah.
Joel Silver was
I
it.
didn't know that.
So cool.
Right, that's because there was
Probably worked
literally
out.
no protocols on what to do with the data,
Yeah.
what was going to be delivered, and how. This
So
was
the
all
insurance
gonna
companies had no idea.
work. No idea.
And the Hughes brothers menaced us aside. I mean,
Right.
great,
Yeah.
great, talented
Good
guys.
citizen
Love
now.
those
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
just kind of making shit up in a good way
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
they
yeah.
went along.
Right.
And it was the Wild West. It really was.
Totally.
Yeah, it was
Well,
fun.
Fitting of the movie in a weird way.
And I got to tell you, then not long after that, I get a picture at Disney, and all of a sudden there was a pre-production meeting on workflow, right? And there's 30 people in the room, and I'm looking at all these people, and I'm going, "So, you guys have to explain to me what all you guys do," because I think there was 2 of us on the last
I
movie
just
that
did it.
actually did this and delivered it to.
Which probably
Well,
worked better.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
But then everybody had realized how difficult it is to have all this data floating around and how easy it pirated can be.
Didn't go away. Yep.
Gotta do this. And how many copies do we make? And where are the copies? And how do they where are they locked up? All that stuff had to be figured out.
Before we wrap it up, I'm just curious because it's just selfish of me to wonder, do you or did you feel like you had to kind of press your case in a certain time when you were using Red with, let's say, post supervisors, or because you're always doing these humongous studio features, did you ever feel like you had to kind of say, no, it really is, or were you just able to say, this is it, I'm going to use it and figure it out?
I've experienced kind of both sides of that. The only time that I didn't get to use the camera of my choice was on Aquaman 1.
Oh, that was recent.
Aquaman 1. And the DXL had just come out.
Yeah.
And maybe one movie was being shot on it at that time. It was that new. And so I tested all the cameras, and I selected that camera, and the studio said no.
Huh.
And I said, really? I said, well, why? And they said, well, because with Panavision we had a problem on Superman.
Oh God, that was so
Same
long
Superman.
ago.
Still.
Superman.
Oh, that
Still,
hurts.
we're bringing
That's
this up.
not
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
I said, well, I know this chip because I have it in my cameras, and I've been using this chip, and it's wonderful, and all that stuff. And you've seen the images, and they just was somebody up the ladder that was too high up that had remembered that, and it was not going to happen on his watch again.
Etched in their brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
That's the only time.
I think you're
What was the imaging group inside Warner Brothers?
MPI, yeah.
MPI, who was foundational for us.
Oh, yeah.
That's the irony of
Yeah.
it is
Right, because...
when Wendy was there, when Wendy was running
Right,
the
and
show,
Maxine Gervais was the
Yeah.
colorist
Yeah.
in Book of Eli.
was
Amazing.
incredible. That whole MPI group, and they were just getting around. They got the base light in there, so they were
Yep.
just doing 4K.
Yep.
We did everything. We had to because they were the only thing that could really handle the data.
Right.
And they were so advanced and so forward, and they embraced us, and
Yep.
it was great. So it was crazy that there's still one little pocket somewhere
Somewhere, yeah.
in the story chain that said, no, we don't want to take the risk because
Right.
we
Yeah,
still
yeah.
have that happen.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. I still hear
Yeah.
the Superman thing.
But I still, I sent you pictures of us using the weapons for
Yep.
shots.
Yep.
Well, thank you for always, getting
bet.
that through the studios, and
Sure.
thank you for being here. Thank
Yes,
you for
thank
joining
you.
us, Jared. It's
And
been
thank
really
you
great.
for dressing up.
You
Yeah,
betcha.
I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
you don't get to see this very often.
No,
so.
never. I hope we got lots of photos.